We do want to warn you about the video and details in our next story. There are allegations of inappropriate sexual conduct between a former child safety worker and his client. Here's Christy with more. Christy.
Yes, Steve, that former DCS worker came to Tucson from Liberia. He lives in a Habitat for Humanity home on the far southeast side and was fired from the Department of Child Safety after video surfaced showing an alleged abuse of power. His client had set up hidden cameras in her home because she says she needed proof. Exclusive video in my Christy's Kids investigation. Christy's Kids isn't identifying this mother of two who had her daughters removed 2 days before Christmas because she's an alleged victim of sexual assault. We'll just call her Stephanie. And we also aren't identifying the former DCS case manager at this time. It is clear in the 7 minutes of edited hidden camera video, Stephanie is not comfortable.
I'll get used to it. You just have to give me like a little.
Off camera, Stephanie says the case manager kissed and groped her.
This is because I want my kids to come home. But this is a big deal. Did you bring my kids home? Okay.
Putting her bra back on, the negotiation continues. He says, Stephanie tells Christy's Kids there were a total of 3 inappropriate encounters. No intercourse, but she says he did put his mouth and hands all over her body.
Just work with me. I guarantee you, I will hopefully eventually open up with this. I'm terrified and I'm nervous and I don't want to make you feel any awkward or anything like that. I know this is to make you happy. So I don't want to say this up because I don't want to make it any worse, but I just don't want to make my situation any. I promise.
Stephanie says this was their second encounter, 8 days after he was introduced as her new caseworker. After the first alleged encounter, January 26th, Stephanie told her counselor, who encouraged her to get evidence. So she bought an iPod and started recording home visits. Christy's Kids counted Stephanie's repeated concerns, saying twice that she didn't want to upset him, 7 times that she was scared, and 10 times saying that she was only doing this to get her kids home. Stephanie's daughters were taken because she was caught growing marijuana in her home. She has a medical marijuana card, but she's not allowed to cultivate.
It's okay. It's okay. I wanted to bring my kids home.
I sat down with Stephanie and her attorney, who say the caseworker orchestrated a deal.
If I wanted my kids back, I had to comply with what was asked of me, and I needed to make sure that he wrote a good report.
And what did that entail? What did you have to do?
I took it as he wanted me to give him sexual favors.
With video and audio like this in hand, Stephanie went to Tucson Police February 5th. There was a confrontation call.
You've been assaulting me for a long time, and I'm not going to let it keep going on if you don't bring me my kids back. It was your end of the bargain, and you promised me.
Okay. And the point is, you are doing well, and that's why we're moving.
The next day, the case manager was fired by DCS. About 5 weeks after that, Stephanie's 7- and 8-year-old daughters were returned. But still, police hadn't filed charges. To this day, the case remains open. Stephanie got a restraining order and waited until April 14th to hire an attorney. In the notice of claim, she's naming the case manager, the director of DCS, and the attorney general. And she says she'll settle for $1.2 million. She says what happened ruined her life.
I lay on the couch and watch TV until I lose vision and I fall asleep. I can't look at my front door without thinking about that man walking through it.
Christy's Kids wanted to hear from the case manager himself, so we went to his door. His wife said he was at work, but she had no problem answering our questions.
I don't know about it. Abusing people, I don't know about that.
It's a lie, you say it's a lie.
That's what I said, yeah.
She says she's been with him for 15 years, married though just last year. They have 3 children. He's a family man, not the kind of man to do something like this. She believes it was a setup. You don't believe that he's at all at fault?
I didn't believe it, yeah.
I don't think anybody in that position would say that that's consensual. I was doing whatever I could to protect my family and make sure anything further happened to my children.
Anyone who sees how comfortable he is with what he's doing would believe that this is not the first time that he's ever done this.
According to DCS, he was first hired back in 2007, so he's had years on the job. If you think that caseworker has abused his power with you, Stephen Weeks, Stephanie's attorney, wants to hear from you. Meantime, we did ask Tucson Police for an on-camera interview, but we were told there's very little they can say since it's an open case. We'll keep you posted. Steve.
All right, Christy.